This is going to be a review on Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Alan Moore is a really popular comic book writer. He wrote The Watchmen. Before I start though, I'd just like to apologize because on my lighting, because I watched back my Kick-Ass box set video and I keep noticed that when I move my head, the lighting changes drastically. My room has really weird light bulb socket things and requires a specific kind of light bulb that doesn't shine very bright. So my room's always really dark and I need to keep that window open for natural lighting, but I'll try not to move my head that much. So I have the Swamp Thing box set. It has 6 trade paperbacks in it. It includes the entire saga of the Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, and it is one of my top 3 favorite comic books of all time. And basically what the Swamp Thing's about, minor spoilers by the way, is it's about a biologist that is trying to create a chemical compound that makes plants grow better, and he ends up getting assassinated by some sort of explosion, and the thing fuses with his body after he's dead and creates this plant body that has his consciousness in it. And that's basically the premise of Swamp Thing. But Alan Moore takes that premise as far as it can possibly go. Like, what are the implications of being living consciousness in a plant? Can he transfer his consciousness to other plants? Stuff like that. I don't want to say too much because it'll spoil, and I wouldn't want to spoil a series this good. But I would, in terms of just the series, being in a DC extended universe, I just want to say this is one of the best possible examples of a series that exists in an extended universe. Because one of the problems I personally have about extended universes is I feel like when there's so many characters in a universe and you let other characters be in your character's story, it gives less time for your character to shine because you're trying to do the other character justice. I feel like Swamp Thing by Alan Moore is a perfect example of how to do a character in an extended universe. Because other characters show up, like John Constantine and Adam Strange, I think is his name, but they don't overstay their welcome, they don't overplay their part. It's about Swamp Thing start to finish and his personal journey. And I like Swamp Thing because it has a supernatural sort of aspect to it, and it's not just about fighting, it's about this guy's personal journey and living his life as a plant creature. This I would recommend for any reader. Anyone would enjoy this. Warning though, it does start off a little bit slow, but it picks up pretty fast, and it is one of my top 3. This gets a 10 out of 10 from me. So, yeah, that's my Swamp Thing review. I bought the box set. You can buy them in big Absolute Edition hardcovers, but just so you know, those have a different color palette than these because they recolored it for some sort of like modern era. I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna say which one's better, but from what I've heard, the colors for the trade paperbacks are more like vibrant, sort of, and the ones for the Absolute Editions are more swampy, you know? Because it is the Swamp Thing, but it's more swampy in tone. Another thing about the art, there will be these really detailed, sort of abstract pages, because this is a little bit of a spoiler, but spirituality is a big theme throughout Swamp Thing. So you'll have a lot of weird, like, sort of trippy scenes in this. They're all super beautifully drawn, by the way. It's one of my favorite parts of the series is the super trippy scenes. But yeah, I would recommend this to anyone. Please read Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. It is one of the best things you'll read. I think it's better than Watchmen, personally. And that is one of the best, most well-renowned things ever. Anyway, that's it. I've rambled on long enough. 10 out of 10. Would recommend to anyone. That's it. See ya.